Hi, everyone.
Greetings. We're in Genesis chapter 4. We're doing verses 1 to 15, the story of Cain and Abel.
Adam lay with his wife, Eve, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Cain. She said, "With the help of the Lord I have brought forth a man." Later she gave birth to his brother, Abel. Now Abel kept flocks, and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord, but Abel brought fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. Its desires to have you, but you must master it." Now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel, and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" "I don't know," he replied. "Am I my brother's keeper?"
And the Lord said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it shall no longer yield to you its strength. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth." Cain said to the Lord, "My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me today away from the ground, and from your face I shall be hidden. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me." Then the Lord said to him, "Not so. If anyone kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold." And the Lord put a mark on Cain, lest any who found him should attack him. Then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Well, the first thing you would notice, we're reading from two modern Bibles, the NIV and the ESV here, is the word Lord, of course, in the original, is the name Yahweh. Which is another change. We've had Elohim by itself in the first chapter, Yahweh Elohim in chapters 2 and 3, and now we've got Yahweh alone for the first time. And it's so interesting that it's in this setting of what should be strange to you if you're a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah. God has a personal relationship with a gross sinner, even after he kills his brother.
Yeah, even after what you would consider to be a disfellowshipping. They're taken out of the garden, but he still has communications with them.
We've made another video on that subject, so we'll link that at the end in our Genesis series. But we should mark the fact that the name Yahweh is here exclusively till near the end of the chapter. And it's underlying the fact that this God, this Yahweh, is a God of mercy and a God of judgment, because as with Adam and Eve, he has cast them out of the garden, and Cain and Abel too. But in this, even in the denouement, or the finale of the story, in what happens after Abel is dead, you realize mercy is triumphing over judgment. And that's a surprise because, of course, the flood gives the death penalty. After the flood, we have the death penalty for such a murder.
So through the whole book of Genesis, you see these grace notes all the time. People who you would consider not worthy of communication with you even, let alone with God. And yet God extends grace and mercy.
Personally. Then there's the aspect of the sacrifice. What is it that makes Cain so angry? They're both religious.
Yeah. They both give an offering, and I remember, and I think I mentioned it in the previous one, that my mother said, well, what would make anybody think that a bloody sacrifice would be better than fruits from the garden, something that you've planted? And I hadn't thought about it, but the last part that we did, we talk about the fact that animal skins are provided to cover Adam and Eve. Well, perhaps they saw,
This is God's requirement.
yeah, and they saw God actually provide them with the skins, kill the animals.
Mm.
So the seriousness of what they've done would be symbolized by that.
Mm-hmm.
That blood had to be shed. And so they would know this, the boys. You would think they'd know the story from their parents. And then,
Or seen their parents do it themselves.
right. So, and the other thing that I noticed was in the verse in the NIV here, it says, Cain brought some of the fruits. Is that what it says in yours?
Yeah.
Just some of the fruits of the soil. Whereas with Abel, it says he brings the fatty portions of the firstborn. So he seems to bring the best. Whereas it doesn't say Cain brought the best, just some. So, that may have been part of it too.
Well, whatever it is, the explanation, and it doesn't give an explicit explanation,
No.
it just suggests, as usual, that there's a difference, and the difference has to do with attitude. They're both making religious offerings, but one of them has one type of religion, and the commentators go there, don't they? What is the type of religion that predominates on this planet? It's a religion where you get to
You call the
determine.
shots. You
Yeah.
decide what you will give God, and he should be happy.
And the rarer type of religion, even within Christianity, is the religion that says your will be done.
Mm.
So I think Griffith Thomas takes that up in
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
3-volume commentary.
Yeah, this is the 3 volumes. You were going to say something about this? It's
You-
available now?
You can get this, by the way, in a 1-volume version or even free
Yeah.
online. So
Yeah.
look out for Griffith Thomas, because it's just a wonderful devotional commentary.
Mm-hmm. So his comments, I think I was holding it the wrong way, but his comments are, we may fairly say that these 2 aspects represent 2 attitudes today. The attitude of the man who responds to God's revelation and submits to his will, and the attitude of the man who will only come to God on his own terms, refusing to do what does not suit him or commend itself to his judgment. So I would have to say there are, within the church, there are always Cains. So we shouldn't be too surprised that there are people who are superficial, and there are people who take it very seriously. You're going to find both.
Yeah, we've always found, though, that the Cains are in the majority.
Mm.
Even if they're not as bad as this Cain.
Yeah.
They're not taking the religion that seriously.
And there's this idea that I'm offering something, so that should be good enough. I'm offering a bit of my time, or you rationalize things in your own head, and don't think about it being not in accordance with what is
Required.
said in Scripture,
Mm-hmm.
that you are to give your all.
Yeah, here's Calvin's comment on this. Apparently there were lots of Cains in church in his day too. Moreover, in the person of Cain is portrayed to us the likeness of a wicked man who yet desires to be esteemed just, and even arrogates to himself the first place among the saints. Such persons truly, by external works, strenuously labor to deserve well at the hands of God. But retaining a heart enwrapped in deceit, they present to him nothing but a mask, so that in their laborious and anxious religious worship there is nothing sincere, nothing but mere pretense. When they afterwards see that they gain no advantage, they betray the venom of their minds, for they not only complain against God, but break forth in manifest fury, so that if they were able, they would gladly tear him down from his heavenly throne. Such is the innate pride of all hypocrites, that by the very appearance of obedience, they would hold God as under obligation. I love that phrase. They would hold God as under obligation to them. Because they cannot escape from his authority, they try to soothe him with blandishments as they would a child. In the meantime, while they count much of their fictitious trifles, they think that God does them great wrong if he does not applaud them. When he pronounces their offerings frivolous and of no value in his sight, they first begin to murmur and then to rage. Their impiety alone hinders God from being reconciled unto them, but they wish to bargain with God on their own terms. By the way, I forgot to tell you, this is John Calvin on Genesis, 800 pages. Magnificent book. And later he does discuss the another irony about Cain and Abel, namely that in allowing Cain to live on and to have offspring is another aspect of the grace of Yahweh. And we forget that when you cut off a man, even if it's just, you also cut off the gifts and the
future.
unrighteousness of the progeny, but also the righteousness or the potential righteousness that's there.
Moses, however, expressly celebrates the remaining benediction of God on the race, which otherwise would have been deemed void and barren of all good. Let us then know that the sons of Cain, though deprived of the spirit of regeneration, were yet endued with the gifts of no despicable kind. Just as the experience of all ages teaches us how widely the rays of divine light have shone on unbelieving nations for the benefit of the present life, and we see at the present time that the excellent gifts of the Spirit are diffused through the whole human race. Moreover, the liberal arts and sciences have descended to us from the heathen. We are indeed compelled to acknowledge that we have received astronomy and other parts of philosophy, medicine, and the order of civil government from them. Nor is it to be doubted that God has thus liberally enriched them with excellent favors, that their impiety might have the less excuse. But while we admire the riches of his favor, which he has bestowed on them, let us still value far more highly that grace of regeneration with which he peculiarly sanctifies his elect unto himself.
Yeah, so of course Calvin is referring to the rest of this passage, which we'll look at next time. That it's the arts and sciences that are born in the other race, the race of Cain. And that seems ironic. But then again, the God of grace, you would expect that. But of course we weren't in a religion of grace, so it is a bit surprising to find these wonderful gifts on the wrong side, which not only benefit them and are evidence of God's goodness to them, but also Christians. It comes back and blesses us too.
Yeah.
Put a link into the very first of our playlist, how Genesis cured two Jehovah's Witnesses, and also the number 6 in that series, which is Cain before the face of Jehovah, because even the New World Translation says he went away from the presence of, or from before Jehovah.
Yeah, I think theirs says before Jehovah. This one, the NIV said the presence of Jehovah.
What does that mean? In the context, it seems to mean what it meant in chapter 3.